Hey everyone, welcome back to VS Action Figures. My name is Vincent, and I am here to review this somewhat new wave of Marvel Legend figures. This is the mini comic wave. When they was first announced, a lot of people were thinking when it was leaked before they showed it, people were thinking they were going to come with little comic books. I heard someone say they were going to come with comic book racks, like you could put in a diorama, spin around, some stuff like that. But what they really come with are these little mini plastic comics, just like a slab, kind of sculpted to look like a book. Reminds me of the Simpsons comic books that used to come with the World of Springfield figures. But these guys kind of bring their own issue, and I don't mean comic book issue. I mean like problem issue, because these should have come with Build-A-Figure pieces. They should have been in the standard box packaging rather than on these cards. I'm not a huge fan of these cards. They do look cool, but yeah, there's really no reason to have them on these cards. I think this type of packaging costs a little bit more, and it's just I don't know. For me, I just want them in the box, and I can open them up and not really have a big issue. But yeah, these guys, I mean, they're regular price figures, and they should have just come with those Build-A-Figure pieces. It feels like Hasbro is phasing that out to save money, and they're kind of telling everyone that, oh, these cards are way better, they're more collectible. But to me, I mean, I think a lot of people are opening these up to play with, so packaging is not a huge deal to me. Um, but I've been excited to get these open. I'm a huge X-Men fan, as you may know from this watching my videos. So I was definitely excited to get a new Banshee. The last one is very old and outdated. I think it was from the first wave of Marvel Legends that Hasbro did. It was based on an old body from Toy Biz. Rom, I mean, I've loved Rom for years, even though I haven't read too much of his stuff. But I remember being a kid and seeing him in Secret Wars 2 and just being thrilled and thinking it was a cool character. And then we have Adam Warlock, which I was fine with the old one. Very outdated, not very well articulated. Um, but still, it's cool to get a new one. And then Ken or Dark Wolverine here. It's pretty cool. I'm happy to have an updated on that one. But yeah, Ultimate Iron Man, Ultimate Miles. I don't really need another Miles. I've got so many of them. And then Ultimate Iron Man. The original one is really bad. Like I don't usually call figures garbage, but it is a crappy figure. It's very bad. But still, I didn't feel the need to buy these. If I see them on clearance, I would probably grab them. But as it is now, just these four: Adam Warlock, Banshee, the Ken, and Rom. So I'm gonna open these guys up. Finally getting around to this. It's sitting in a box here, and I really wanted to get to this eventually. So I'm happy to open these guys up. So let's take a look one by one. We'll go through them all, and we'll see how they compare to each other and how they add up. And here is Adam Warlock in his Infinity Gauntlet outfit, which is pretty cool. We've already got one like this that came out back near the beginning of Marvel Legends when Hasbro took over the Red Hulk wave. And we have one in his more modern outfit from Guardians of the Galaxy movie, which is based on the Guardians comics. But this is the one you want to go with. If you want a classic one to fight your Thanos, then you're going to want this guy. And here he is on the cover that's shown, which is really cool artwork. And I'm just excited to get him open. So let's crack him open. Now, I was probably least excited to get Adam Warlock just because I've already got this exact same outfit, and he's not a character that's high on my priority list of guys that I really want, but actually it turned out really well. He's nice. He's got pinless joints. He has some really good movement. He's got butterfly joints, which is great. I think all the characters except for Rom have butterfly, but I'll get to them. He's got pretty good articulation. The cape does hinder things. It's one of those capes that plugs into the back, and I don't know, it's not my favorite. It looks a lot very similar to the old cape, very cheap looking with the way they got the red painted over the yellow. And but I mean, it matches. It works for the character. It matches how he looks in the comic. I think a lot of people are going to display him with the gauntlet on. It's pretty cool. It's two pieces, the hand, and then the sleeve part here just goes right over. You plug that right in. So it's kind of cool. It doesn't really go, it's not like a swappable hand like at the forearm. So you can pretty much put this on any character whose hand comes off. So really anyone can wear it as long as they've got similar sized arm. You can slide it on that character and have them with it. You can give it to anybody. So in addition to the gauntlet, he's also got the punching fist hands. So you have some options how you want to display him. So if you want a classic Adam Warlock, this is the way to go. You don't want to go for the old one that came in the Red Hulk wave. That one had terrible articulation. He's probably really hard to find too, and his face was painted wrong color. He wouldn't have the nice goldish orangey color like this guy has, which is what you want. And this is the way to go. If you want a modern one, you're going to have to track down this guy from the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, Volume 2, from that wave. He was a comic figure packed in that wave. And he came with an extra head for Magus, the evil version. So I picked up two so I can display both characters because they are separate characters. I think they split off or something. I don't know. Or he came from the evil dimension. I don't remember the storyline, but I wanted both. So if you want modern, track these ones down. If you want the vintage, classic look, then you're definitely going to want this guy. How could I forget? The Infinity Gauntlet comic book. This is the one that he comes with. It is on the black base plastic, so it's pretty dark. It's kind of hard to see because they went with the black back on this, and all of these feel kind of sticky. So I'd be afraid of this scratching off. So be careful with these because I have a feeling if you were to stack them together, you're in a hot room, when you pull them apart, I think that some of this is going to peel off. So be careful with your comics. And next up is Banshee. This is Banshee in his green outfit. So you could have him from Giant Size X-Men or one of his first appearances. And he's worn this from time to time, or even in the animated series, he's got this outfit on. It's a great update to the original figure that came out back in the beginning of Marvel Legends 2007, Hasbro Marvel Legends, that is. And he is pretty cool because people have wanted an update on this guy because the last one was missing the collar, his floppy little body. It was not very good. So now we've got him. The packaging's pretty cool. He's got the Giant Size X-Men #1 on the back here. And I'm excited to get a new Banshee. So let's open him up and take a look. And here is Sean Cassidy out of the box. So if you want a new Banshee, and if you want the blue costume, you can pick up that one in the box set that came out with the Jim Lee outfit. But if you want a classic Banshee, forget about the old one. Forget about the one that came in the original Annihilus wave. That one is just garbage compared to this, to be honest. Like I usually don't hate my old figures, but once they do something like this is a really nice update. Um, Best parts of him are the head sculpts are really nice. I believe they are copying what came in the old set, in the box set of the blue suits, but it's pretty close to what you want. I think they may have swapped the hair. I think one of my friends was telling me. The collar is really cool, and the articulation is great. He's got the butterfly joints like everyone else in this wave, pretty much everyone. He's got all the articulation you could want. He's got the pinless knees, pinless elbows, and his cape. Now, this is the problem with this figure with a lot of Banshees. He's got this crappy material, this thin, plasticky cloth. And when you look from the back, I mean, you can see the black's only painted on one side, so it looks pretty bad. We had the same problem with the last Banshee. We had the same problem with Siren. Even on Storm, sometimes they give us these crappy things. And I don't know what they're thinking here with these plastic tabs that plug into the body. And they look really bad. Like, look at that. Look at that. I know you're not really going to be looking at it for the most part. You'll be looking at it from the front. But they have to figure out a better way. There's got to be a better way to attach the wings or the cape to the suit. They have to think. I mean, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I mean, they're paying people to think of these things, so there's got to be something. I mean, this isn't ideal. Now, if you want your first appearance Banshee, this head is really nice. He's got the big sideburns, got the more mature look. Because when he first came out, he looked like a guy that was maybe in his early 50s, and then they kind of aged him down a little bit, even though he does have an adult daughter. But they kind of age him to look more like he's in his early 40s, late 30s. When he is an older character, he's not supposed to be a young guy. So this head works pretty well, very mature looking. He also comes with a bunch of hands. So if you don't want the fist, you can have the open hands. Comes with two of those. He comes with comes with an open hand, a gripping hand, and then this trigger hand. So I don't know what the deal is. I think this is to hold the comic book, but still, I mean, it looks like he's ready to hold a gun. He should have come with two open hands for his flying pose, because I think that would have been the best thing. So Banshee comes with Giant Size X-Men #1, you can see here. And it does have that sticky problem that the other comics have. This is the only one that's on a white base, so it's easier to see the image. It stands out really nicely. I mean, it's a cool accessory. I'm not going to lie. They are pretty cool. But it just doesn't make sense to have the character holding them. But what are you going to do? Now here is Daken Wolverine's son, the Dark Wolverine. He comes on the same packaging. He looks pretty good in the package. On the back here, you can see he's got the pictures of the Dark Avengers book that he starred in, which is pretty cool. He took on Wolverine's role in that book. Looks good on the box, in the box rather, but you know, I want to open them up. So let's crack them open and take a look on there. But it's pretty cool looking figure, and I do like the character quite a bit. He is cool. He is Wolverine's son. He is in his 70s. He is crazy. He has pheromones that can make people kind of fall in love with him or do what he says and affect people. But he's also got the three claws, which are very strange. They have two on the front, and he's got one on the inside that comes out of his wrist. Now, the claws used to be black. They were like a black bone claw, but I think he had them coated in, I don't know if they're adamantium or if they're coated in the Muramasa blade so he can cut through adamantium. I'm not sure what the storyline is now. You know, these characters, they die, they come back, they die, they come back. They change their powers all the time. One cool thing is he's got these tattoos that I don't recall if what the story is, if these are adamantium tattoos or some reason why they don't get absorbed into his skin like Wolverine would, or he just keeps getting the tattooed reapplied all the time. I don't remember the storyline there, but it looks cool and he looks great. It's I mean, it's a little bit spindly. I know he's not short and squat like Wolverine, but something about this body just feels way too thin and spindly. It reminds me of the old Bucky Cap body that they retired after many, many years of usage. But he does look cool. It's not a terrible figure. The articulation is what you'd expect. Pinless joints, articulated everywhere like you'd want. Waist, everything. Butterfly joints. You can get some cool Wolverine lunging poses. Now the unmasked head is actually really cool. I love the look of this. A really nice paint around the eyes. I don't know if he's wearing eyeshadow. I mean, I think he is into that type of fashion, but still, or if it's just his crazy eyes. He looks great. Like, if you can get some sort of a body that could work as maybe a dude in a suit or something, you could have like, or even like a shirtless dude, just a crazy looking guy. You could have him on that, put that head on there, and have a second figure. He also comes with some other hands. He has a hand with no claws, with the claws inside. You can hold the comic book with that, and then he comes with another hand with two claws. Now, I really wish he had come with six hands, so he could have had both hands with two claws and both hands with no claws. It's as it is now. I mean, you don't have that as many display options. I like having the option to show a Wolverine figure without his claws. That's always kind of cool. But you know what I want to do right now is compare him to some other Wolverines. So let's take a look. So here he is with his dad. Astonishing Wolverine. You can see the height difference is pretty cool. He's more squat. I believe he's supposed to be closer to 6 feet, so he should be larger, or maybe the Wolverine is just too tall. But he looks cool. But I think comparing him to another brown suit Wolvie would be better. Fortunately, my other ones aren't available at the moment. They're downstairs. But here he is with the Brood Wolverine, which uses the same body that we've had many times for brown suit Wolvie. And it's a really nice size difference between the two of these. And I believe the same body was used on this Wolverine, which is the Helverine, which is kind of funny because I believe in the comic Helverine is actually Wolverine's son. So I don't know why he's got the three claws in the same spot as Wolverine. I don't know why he's short. I don't know why he doesn't have the tattoo. But apparently in the story, this is actually Daken and not Logan. But still, they're cool. They're cool looking figures. I like the difference between regular Wolvie and this Wolvie. So I think it still works. Who knows? They probably change the storyline all the time. This could be anybody. Next time it could be X-23. It still look like this. Who knows? And for the comic book, he comes with Dark Avengers #1, I believe it is, which is pretty cool. If you haven't read that comic, check it out. It's got all the different villains playing as the heroes, a lot like the original Thunderbolts. And again, this is another one that's got black plastic, so it is a little bit hard to see. And it's got the sticky front like all the other ones. So be careful with these guys because I could see this scratching or peeling off. And here is Rom the Spaceknight, the star of the show for me. He's looking great. He looks great in the package. He's got extra hands and guns and everything, so he fills out the package quite nicely. Looks like something you'd want to keep in box if you're that type of collector. But for me, I'm an opener. I'm going to get this guy open. The package here, you've got the classic Rom #1 issue cover here that I think looks really cool. I always was intrigued by this as a kid, especially the story behind Marvel and how they they were licensing the character, but they folded him into Marvel continuity, which created a lot of problems down the line when they wanted to reprint stuff. So it's kind of cool to have this character. He's a great Marvel character, but he's owned by Hasbro, so they can kind of fold him in even though Marvel doesn't own him. So pretty cool. I don't know what type of a agreement they had to finally get him made, but he's perfect for Marvel Legends, and I'm excited to have him. Let's crack him open and take a look. And here is Rom the Space Knight. He is the biggest guy in this wave, at least that I picked up out of the four that I got. He is pretty large. He seems to be using a lot of new pieces and parts, so he's not going to be exactly like any other figure you've got, because he's got not just the chest piece, which is new, in the head, obviously, but even the boots and everything seems fairly new. Maybe part of this was reused, but the feet are all new. Someone thought these pieces might be taken from Titania, but I'm not sure. I think they're a little bit different. Even here, he's got the different sculpting on the hips and everything. So maybe part of the arms are reused and maybe the calf here, but for the most part, he is all new and he is looking really cool. He's got the backpack. You got to forgive me if I'm not using the right terms. I know both of these guns have their own name, but I haven't really read that much of the comics, so I don't know all the terms. I just always thought it was cool how this character was owned by Hasbro but folded into the Marvel universe. And I'm happy to finally have him. I think he looks great. It was well worth the wait to finally to get him done right. The silver looks nice. It's kind of like they've used on Silver Surfer figures in the past. It doesn't have that terrible swirly fake silvery gray plastic that they've used before. And so he looks good. I mean, obviously a metallic, like an original C3PO R2D2 type of vac metallicized paint would have been amazing, but I mean, they don't really do that these days, and that would have chipped off pretty easily, so it wouldn't have much play value. Not that kids are buying these, to be honest, but um, yeah, this guy is really cool. Let's go over what he comes with. So Rom comes with the two sets of gun holding hands. He's got a fist and an open hand. Now he's got those weird hands. I think the original toy just had like metal claws for the hands, and they tried to recreate that in the comic by having these weird. It looks like he's wearing kind of a rubber glove without the fingers, so it's just like like a rubber mitten. So it's kind of weird. But I mean that's how he's supposed to look, I guess, in the comics. So it's not out of place. So he comes with the two guns. They are separate. They're two different designs. I know they each have their own name, so it's cool that they actually sculpted them differently. And this blasting piece can go on either one. So you just plug it right on. It's pretty cool. So it's a unique design. I can't see them releasing it for anything else. I don't know what it would fit on, but I wish they had given us two, because I mean I think both of them can blast it. So why not give us two of those? I mean, the cutting corners a little bit. Now he also comes with the comic book, Rom Spaceknight issue 1. He's pretty bright. A lot of these other comics that were dark, print on the black plastic, you can't really see what's going on, but this one's pretty bright. It looks pretty cool, so I'm happy with that. As far as articulation goes, he's got all the joints you would expect, except for the butterfly joints. Because of the large armor harness thing, he doesn't have the butterfly joints, but he does have this ball joint here in the chest, which is kind of cool, but he doesn't have a waist joint. So you can kind of get your rotating in that way. He is a little bit hindered from the backpack, but that's not too bad. He looks pretty good. Now, Rom is big. So here he is with Wolverine, who is supposed to be short. And then here he is with Adam Warlock. You can see regular height, a little bit short compared to him. So he looks cool. He's a good size. He's imposing. He towers over the smaller characters. So it works really well. So here we are. These are the 4 figures out of the wave that I got. I probably would have bought the last 2, the Ultimate Iron Man and the Ultimate Spider-Man, if they'd come with a Build-A-Figure part. Because I'm a sucker for that. If there's 4 of the line that I like, and there's 6 in the wave, I'll get the other 2 just to build the extra figure. But I think a lot of people feel the same way. So I have a feeling that people are going to be skipping a lot of characters in this. Anyone who doesn't really care about Dark Wolverine, why pick them up? If you don't care about the 2 Ultimate figures, why grab them like I did? I mean, who needs them? So I think Hasbro kind of was shooting themselves in the foot. They're trying to save a little bit of money on the Build-A-Figure parts, but they're going to be losing out on a lot of customers who would have bought the whole wave, because they don't want to miss out. They have the fear of missing out on that Build-A-Figure, which you you don't know if they're going to release it again. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Most of them they don't. So, this is your one shot to get it, and it's hard to find. It's hard to track down parts of figures. Even at toy shows, there's always people selling, they have bins of parts you can go through, and it's hard to track down the pieces you need. You're always going to find the parts you don't need or figures you've already built. And so I think they've left some money on the table in that way. And these little comics, they're a cute little gimmick. I mean, throwing them in just as an extra accessory would be cool, but basing the whole wave around these mini comics was a little bit of a strange decision, I think. Um, they're not bad. They're cool, but like I said, they are sticky. I mean, look, they're already sticking together here a little bit when you press them together. So be careful with these when they're out. If you're living in a hot climate, I wouldn't recommend stacking them together. They're gonna stick together. They might get ruined. But overall, I am happy with this wave. It's a great update to 3 characters and one new character we've literally never had before in Marvel Legends. So I think overall, I think this is pretty cool. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the views. I've been gaining some more followers, and I just appreciate it. A lot of people have been commenting and liking my videos, and it makes me happy to know that people are engaging with the stuff I'm creating. Just doing this for fun. I've been collecting for my whole life, so just getting to put something out there for people to enjoy. And if you have a channel, post it here. I'd love to take a look. I've made some friends here just by viewing each other's channels, and it's pretty cool, and it's a nice community, and I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for watching.